Hello, my name is Nate, and I'm making this video because I just watched a video pertaining to a subject that I am definitely familiar with. I watched the video from Get Germanized, also Martin Abroad, and I may get this name wrong, but Raina Acuso, Acusa. Um, well, they talked about being black in Germany, which something that apparently I will have much experience about. Not only am I black, but I am a big black American who is also gay. So I'm the big black gay guy in Germany, which is a very precious and rare um, thing to have in these neck of the woods. Um, yeah, I've lived in Austria for a year and a half, and I have been living here in Germany for about 6 months now. Um, we've also traveled a lot throughout Europe, and just some places I've been to is Poland, Croatia, Slovakia, Hungary, Italy, of course, Germany and Switzerland, and France. And so my partner and I, yeah, we've been to quite a few places, and I can say that just from my experiences, that there is a general, I don't want to use the word negatively though, but there is a general ignorance of, minorities in all of these locations, to where you pretty much see the same patterns of behaviors, that people are staring, and not losing eye contact. I mean, they're really, really staring. And as in Get Germanized, he said the unicorn effect. Yeah, so you get those big eyes, mouth gaping open kind of stares, and are just mesmerized and looking at your every movement. Which I've had those experiences in all locations and stuff. But one of the things I can definitely say is that in Germany, the people has been a little bit more respectful, and I think that I got a lot more positive, um, well, maybe positive emotions from the experience than as some of the other places I've been. So clearly, I've got both positive and negative uh, experiences as far as living here. One of the experience I can recall that was very positive, I think, was one time I was grocery shopping, and this little girl, she was just, away from her mom and just playing in the aisle, just playing, doing her thing. And she just glanced at me for a second, and then she like just did a double take, and then she just had that fixated stare. I mean, just, and she looked at me for like a good just 30 seconds or so, which just felt like maybe like a few minutes, but she just stared at me. And then when she finally came to her senses and stuff, she just called out like, "Mama, Mama, come gleich, bitte come gleich." And that's another thing, is that Germans, a lot of times when they see me, I believe that mostly they see me as an American. Only a couple of times that I had a couple of people ask me if I was African. But they mostly see me as an American, so they think that I don't know German. So, yeah, then her mom was just like, "Oh, what's going on?" and stuff like that. And then the little girl pointed at me and just looking at me and like, "Ein großer Moor, ein großer Moor," and stuff, which, the word Moor means, like a black person, or a African descended person, which I'm told that it's not a racist term, so and since it's not something that's familiar to my own customs, I'm not going to take it as a racist term. But she just said black more, and grossa black more, and so dick and all this stuff like that. So but the lady, she looked at me for a second, and she looked right back at her daughter, and she just said, "Yeah, which basically means like, and so what? So like, who cares or whatever. And she's like, but mama, and she's like, and she was actually telling her daughter, like there's different kind of people in the world, and that it's not nice to stare at people and to have respect for people and stuff like that and not to, shout out things like that. So I thought that it was a very positive moment because something that usually would be a little uncomfortable for me um, is something that actually came out to be positive, that she teach her daughter, not to do those things and stuff, and that she's teaching her daughter to be respectful of other people. And so I thought that was cool. And another experience I had, just in Germany again, was one time I was waiting outside the post office. I was waiting for my partner to do something, because we walked around the city and then he needed to go do something in the post office. And God forbid that after walking around, that I'm actually going to go into a building, because one thing for certain is that in Europe, they do not know how to properly use an air conditioner. If it's blazing outside, you're way better off staying outside, even in the sun in some cases. So I just said I was going to wait outside and wait for him. So I'm just there at the post office waiting. And this man just comes up to me. Now, he was very, very polite. And he just said that, he was talking to me in German. And he just asked, he was like, my son over there just saw you and he really wants to take a picture of you. And which I get that a lot actually, that I get people who wants to take pictures of me or with me. So, which is sometimes a little uncomfortable, but I just try to be nice. And well, since I wasn't feeling too fresh right there because I was all sweaty, walking around, and it was a hot day, I just said no, I wouldn't like to take a picture right now and stuff like that. So, but the man, he walked off, and he was still very polite, and he walked off and stuff like that. And I saw him talking to his son and stuff, and telling the son that, I don't think he wants to take a picture or anything like that. So it seemed like they walked away for a little bit, and then I went to go sit down, and then when I went to go sit down, at the corner of my eye, I just see the little boy sneaking up behind me as if he was some kind of like a nature show host or something, looking at some rare unicorn or something like that. And like he took taking pictures of me, and I just hear the camera going. So, it's really not good to try to be aggressive in those situations, or, things like that, because it just really just furthers the idea of maybe like black people are unstable, or they're violent, or they're aggressive, or something like that. So, I just looked back, I smiled, and I just took a pictures and waved and stuff and let him take his picture. And he took his picture and he ran off. Um, which that was a little bit more, and I would have thought that maybe the dad would have more, control of his son. But, one thing I know from that experience is, just, it's better to just let the person have what the whatever, and then they can just go off and stuff like that. You know, it was a little disrespectful that he was still taking a picture, but I just had to let that go and just let him just go off. And by the time then, I also stopped sweating a little bit and was able to wipe the sweat off my face. So I hope that it was still a nice picture. Um, but I just want to say that, again, I can talk all day just from the 2 years that I've lived here in Europe and, things like that. I can talk all day about my experiences that I've had. And again, they're both negative and positive experiences. Well, one of the more fun, just to end on my experience, one of the more funner experience that I had didn't take place in Germany, but took place in Austria when I lived in Vienna. Um, I was there and I was with my partner. We was at a bar or something, and this lady, she just kept staring at me. She just could not keep her eyes off me. She was with two other guys, and it was a gay bar, of course. And she was with two other guys, and it was having their conversation and stuff like that. But she just kept just looking at me, and then she also even tried to, which is another thing that is very ignorant that I think people should really stop doing, is to get the other people around them attention to look at an individual. I think that's very rude. But and she tries to get the other two gentlemen that she was with to look at me as well. But and she's just staring at me. So then she eventually, and I guess she was drunk at this point, she eventually just came up to me and she was like, "Oh my God, can I just take a picture of you?" And everything. She like, "Can I just take a picture of you? You're just so unique. I just want to take a picture of you." And I already had a couple drinks in me, so and also I was just calm and just trying to be there with my partner and stuff, and I was just like, whatever, just take your picture and stuff like that. But you can take a picture of us together, of me and my partner together or whatever. So and then she takes the picture, but she's like, "Oh, you so dark. Oh, my camera could barely pick you up. Oh my God, you so dark. Oh, and then I'm just like, just take the picture. Take the picture and move on, please." So, and then but the fun part about this experience was that there was a guy who was sitting right next to us, and he well, of course it was obvious because she was just obviously doing it. And he overheard the situation, and he felt very embarrassed. He felt very embarrassed for his people, for his country. He felt embarrassed for the lady. He felt embarrassed for me. And basically, I got free Jaeger shots that whole night. Like, he just kept buying me Jaeger shots and stuff. And we even went to another bar, and he was just buying me Jaeger shots. So that was a fun night. It was bad, but it ended up being a fun night. So just saying, like, there's some people, it's just like anywhere you go. There's ignorant people, then there's really nice people who is respectful. So, but all I can say is that if you're coming over here, just be aware that if you're black, you're going to stand out. You're going to get the stares. But, a lot of people, it's not from, which is took me a long time to get over it, and not take it so personally. But it's not because they want to be malicious or anything. It's just that they're very curious, and and they have never experienced seeing really black people, and stuff like that. So it's a very rare thing for them. And again, like, well, definitely, at least in Germany, usually if you also look back at them while they're staring at you, they'll kind of they will kind of like just go like, oh, and it's because, yeah, they are embarrassed, and that you caught them or something like that. But for the people who just happen to be bold enough to come up to you and want to talk to you, just try to be nice and try to be cordial. If you're not feeling in the mood, just try to politely dismiss them and stuff, or and usually they'll be very nice, and they'll just walk away or whatever like that. But it's no need to really feel very defensive, and because the German people are actually very nice people, and they're very, as I've experienced, pretty respectful for the most part. And and then again, try not to take things too personally, and just enjoy your life, enjoy your time, enjoy the company of your friends or whomever you're with, and and just nudge it off at the end of the day. Um, so again, I have a lot of experience. So if anybody else have questions or things like that, you can feel free to leave me a comment or something, and just hopefully we'll have enough people here to where everybody can just be open-minded and it's not a big thing anymore. So, uh, that's all I gotta say. All right, bye.